Well, when I was younger, my anxiety started off with anxiety attacks. So I would have panic attacks from a young age, especially in high school. That's when I really started having really bad panic attacks out of nowhere. There's nothing really to pinpoint it sometimes when it happens. It could be all in your subconscious. When my anxiety that I've been going through my whole life starts to interfere with my job, my school, or things that I do in my everyday life, then it starts to become a problem. One of your resources is actually to remove yourself from the situation at hand. And I was on the Jersey Shore. It's a terrible environment for me to be in when I'm anxious because there's drinking involved, there's fighting involved, there's lack of sleep, lack of privacy, and it's just not a good place for me. So I was like, you know what, in order for me to get better and to do this, I had to go home and recharge my batteries. We're in a pretty crazy environment when we film, and I feel bad for my roommates. I feel bad for any inconvenience that I caused them because they really didn't have that many resources to help me when we were filming the show. The advice that I have someone dealing with anxiety or stress is to definitely get help. Just to say something to somebody, whether it's your sister, your brother, your friend, your mother, a therapist. It doesn't have to be that extreme. You have to just speak up, just so in case the problem ever does manifest and gets worse, you have already laid down the foundation and people already are aware. You're on their radar that like something's not right. If you're worried about a friend dealing with anxiety, I would definitely recommend help for your friend. Maybe the person dealing with anxiety doesn't want to go to a professional or is embarrassed to see a therapist or to open up about it. I would be a support system for that friend that's going through anxiety. Be there for them, but also help them. Maybe, go through their insurance book with them and look up therapists, or say, you know what, I hear there's school counselors around that can help you, because a lot of times the anxious person or the depressed person has no drive or motivation for themselves. So the best advice I can give for someone that's a bystander is to do the work for the anxious person, just so the anxious person has to walk through the door. You can go to vinny.halfofus.com, and it shows a lot of resources on how to help people. There are phone numbers that you can call, and just people that can give advice. It doesn't have to be something so extreme. No one has to be on a ledge in order to seek help or to help them. It's just there are ways of dealing with it that you can do, and just ask a professional or someone around you. And just speaking up is the hardest part.